What's up, my brothers and sisters? Um, this kid is pretty much explaining what God is the way that I have explained it. Maybe he puts it a little better, but it's pretty much the same thing I've been saying. It is at 6:20, so let's go back to the beginning so he can introduce himself.
A future Nikola Tesla, and tell us your name and what you do for a living.
Hi, I'm Maxwell Lahin, and I am a physicist, inventor, entrepreneur, and, well, I guess change maker. I'm 13, and I feel like I can change the world, and I've already started my positive impact on it.
What have you done? How have you changed the world so far?
So aside from inventing a whole bunch of different stuff that probably won't matter.
He basically gets to where he's inventing free energy. So free electricity, free energy, you don't have to plug it in. It's wireless, it charges itself, it's forever. It is for free, okay? This is what Roger's trying to get to as well. It does exist and it is possible. Now that we know he's like basically a miniature Nikola Tesla, let's
Way that my political and business clients, if they did it, is about the Bible and using the letters going backwards in the Fibonacci theory. Can you explain that? Because
Okay,
that's
so
amazing.
in certain parts of the Bible, you can get literally, if you convert the letters to numbers,
Speak a little louder if you
the
can.
Fibonacci sequence, if you invert, of course.
So basically, the word Bible or in the Bible, when you put the letters backwards, when you convert it or invert it into numbers such as gematria, you get the Fibonacci sequence. What the Fibonacci sequence is a mathematical sequence, I think is pi or something like that, 3.14. The reason why you can say that this is God mathematically and that he does exist is because the Fibonacci sequence goes on forever. There's no limit to the amount of infinite numbers that you can use to make codes, sequences. For instance, think of our English language just for an example. How many times do we use the letter T in every word? The, then, Bartholomew or Tom, right? Like, think about that. How many different sequences and patterns can you put that? It's almost like saying the same about a guitar. It only has so many frets, but how many songs can you come up? People are still coming up with music today that is brand new. It's hard to reinvent the wheel, yes, but there's only so many frets and there's only so many patterns you can use, right? So, but it's also infinite. You can make 100 million of them. Think about like trillions. That means that's 999 billions. Then you go to trillion. What about 10 trillion? That's like 900, right? Does that make sense? Like think of all the numbers and the sequences, and then there's 20. Anyways,
But in certain important parts of the book, you'll take certain parts out and you'll get numbers, which seem random, but they're actually frequencies of resonance that line.
frequencies of resonance. So he's talking about the spiral. The Fibonacci sequence is the spiral. This exists throughout the entire universe, from the spiral of the galaxy, hurricanes, tornadoes, your birth, your soul, a flower, a snail, uh, you name it. Your fingerprint. Look at your fingerprint. Your fingerprint is literally a spiral. Just look at your thumb or something like that. In the middle, it starts getting smaller and it's going into a swirl, right? This is God's fingerprint, the swirl. That's what I was trying to say about the weather when I said that's God's fingerprint. Now he's going on to say that you get, I guess, suppose almost like a gematria type of code, okay? Letters can be converted into numbers, okay? With that being said, these are frequencies and resonances, is what he said. That's what I said. I've shown you the pictures of the swirls. I've said the frequencies. That's why I get the same patterns every time, because God is here right now, right by you, everywhere, at all times.
Up with what's called the Fibonacci spiral, and the Fibonacci spiral is kind of weird for the fact that it's called literally God's thumbprint, which is a little bit weird considering that we have spiral galaxies, spirals in our thumbs, spirals in our ears. Literally, almost every organism on the planet or object we have found has had some sort of reminiscence of Fibonacci in it, and I don't know, it's called God's trademark or God's thumbprint.
This is also an art, architecture. The Mona Lisa, you could apply the Fibonacci sequence to. Architecture, ancient architectures, the Masons, all of this stuff. They use it to mock. and they use it to do all this stuff. And circles, spirals is God. This kid knows.